Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in
What's
to a new
up?
episode of Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, it's yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of golden franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, Kid Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King Chief Gold in the building. Bro, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. A nice little nice little night at Dynamite, man. That was a gear up for Grand Slam next week. Let me turn my TV down a little bit here. Ooh, excuse me. As we turn this down a little bit here, man. But we had a nice little night, gearing up for next week's Grand Slam. We had Moxley and Sammy Guevara start us off, man. Not a bad match. Moxley picked up that victory. With that paradigm shift, either reversal of Sammy's version of the go to sleep. What you think of the match?
No, man, I thought the match was cool. Hey, man, Sammy, I know we kind of been talking about Sammy off and on the last few weeks, and with Sammy, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off, and it can be very lazy and lackadaisical at times, knowing the type of, knowing the caliber of wrestler he is. But I feel like, man, him and Mox, they definitely had really good chemistry in the ring. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing them run this match back sometime in the future. Not right now per se.
Obviously.
Yeah, but I definitely felt like Sammy one has restored my faith in the Spanish guy, and of course John Moxley for the most part, man, 9 times out of 10 he gonna have a solid match. I don't think you will ever just see John Moxley on a string of 5 stars, but John he definitely can get the job done with and when it is needed to be done. So no, man, good match, great way to start off Dynamite. I feel like these two really hit it off.
Yeah, no, most definitely. The right guy is definitely Moxley. If not, Moxley has definitely become hotter than ever. He is just that guy. What's going on, champ? He is definitely hot as fire right now. But then after Moxley got his victory, we had MJF come out, and MJF, doing his 1-2. He came out, spitted what he had to spit. He said what he had to say, letting it be known that Moxley should have took his 6-week vacation. But instead, he's got to come back to lose the belt that he's going to eventually win. He said, "You feel like you've been traveling for the past few days." He has feel like he's been traveling for the past few days.
My boy
Leo.
Joe is
What's good, Leo? Right, man. He my man. As always, he everywhere.
And we should call the people gypsies.
Yeah, right. But MJF cut his little promo, and then he introduced the guys that helped him out, which was Stokely and Stokely Hathaway and the Firm. And which Stokely went, one by one, and he introduced everybody, and he said what their purpose is and what they and what their agenda is. Even though they come for a purpose to help out Max, but when they're not needed for that, they're gonna do their own thing. I actually kind of like this. Stokely had a way of explaining it, and maybe that kind of killed it a little bit for him. But I actually kind of want to see what comes of this. I want to see him. Me too, champ. I kind of want to see what becomes of this because I want to see what WB can do. I know what Lee Moriarty could do. He needs some guidance. I want to see what he can do, and so does the Gun Club. So, and then Ethan Page, it's just finally time to see him do what we've been wanting to see him do, and that's be good in the ring. So I want to see what comes of this. I like Stokely's. I'm not an assistant. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a manager. I'm a friend, and I'm just here to do what's best for business. Blackmail is what gets me off in the day. It's like, all right, bro. I feel like you're giving us a little bit too much, but all right, okay, Stokely. But what did you think of Stokely, man? Before we move on.
All right, so I want to cut to MJF real quick. Love the promo, great promo. I felt like he said what he needed to say and then kept it pushing. I love Stokely. I do feel like his promo, this one was old school Kenny Omega,
that school Omega promos.
I feel like we hit the top, and then I felt like he instead of slowly easing back on down, we kind of plateaued for a minute.
Right.
But overall, as a whole, I am interested in the group. Like you said, W. Morrissey. Of course, you got the Guns. I'm excited to see what they do outside of Billy. So maybe they'll be a little more serious. Even though they were heel before, they weren't really a serious heel, just kind of like annoying, goofy heel. Now, I will say Ethan Page. Man, another group, another group. Like,
Another group, but he's the focal point. Where in the other
yeah,
group, he wasn't really the focal point. It was really more Scorpio Sky, and then it was just a whole bunch of BS. He's the
with,
focal point because he's going to do his own thing like that, and that's what makes me have confidence a little bit is
yeah,
because each person is going to do their own. They've got their own titles. Lee wants to go after the pure championship. They want the gun want they want the tag teams.
mhm,
Ethan wants the mid Atlantic.
yeah,
Big WB, he's gonna either go after the TNT or the World Heavyweight. So either way it go, everybody's got their own objective. I just want to see it play out. Like it's just, it's more faith. It's more of Tony Khan
yeah.
coming through than it is really more of Ethan Page for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like I said, we got a nice collective. We said, we need to push people, right? We need to
Yeah,
see new faces. We
yeah,
need to see new faces
yeah.
because it's kind of getting stale for a while. Obviously, because you're behind, the elite, especially Kenny Omega since he came back. You were obviously building back CM Punk. You were planting seeds for MJF. Well, now 4 or 5 of those people you're building, they're gone now. So now we got this group right here, and I can't complain about it. We want to see more Ethan Page, like we're gonna get it. I don't think anybody really asked for the guns, but we're going to get them. Morrissey, we're going to get them. So, hey, look, it's new, it's fresh. I'm not going to be mad at it. I'm
No,
curious to see what we do with it next.
right, for sure, man. Next up, man, as we got a nice little match going on between Bryan Danielson and Jericho. They really bringing them. They're really stepping it up from their first
Oh yeah,
match.
oh yeah,
So we want to get hurry up and get to that, man. We had Jungle Boy. He came back, had a match against Jay Lethal, picked up the victory. We had Hook and the Action Bronson promo, them working out in the ring. Then of course they're gonna lead to their tag match next week. And then we had Danhausen, who's going to get a match against Ethan Page on Rampage, which he regrets. Hobbs came out, beat somebody. Then Ricky Starks came back. Put that one to him, let him know
yeah,
the chapter of Starks is not over just yet. You
right,
can't move on yet, bro. So we're gonna see what comes of that. And then of course, man, we had a good match. We had Swerve and Lee going up against the Lucha Bros, and they were able to retain. But my God, boy, the loot man, that's the one thing AEW just don't miss with is tag teams. And
yeah,
when you put the right teams together in the match,
yeah,
you could really get. And the crowd was definitely
yeah,
hot for this match, man. So I really, me, I got to see all 4 of my people. And so it's like it's all good. I'm good. It was for the titles. I didn't even expect it for the titles, so that just added a little bit more to it. And I like how they teased that they would have the Lucha Bros win the titles and possibly have them be a trio of double champions. So it's like, damn, everybody's now got 2 belts. That would have been kind of cool. But Swerve and them picked up the victory. Then the Clan came out and let it be known they are going to be the crown, the unofficial official AEW tag team champions. Then of course, man, we got Death Triangle. They were trying to cut a promo to talk to him in the back, but Pat got laid out by Orange Cassidy by the laziest knockout punch, but I guess that's the sell of Orange Cassidy and who he is. Pac oversold it, but it was what it was. But we're gonna get Pac versus Orange Cassidy for the Mid Atlantic championship, and yeah, I don't mind seeing a Pac versus Orange Cassidy round 3 or 4, whatever which this is, because these two, I love seeing these two together in the ring. Uh, Before I move on to that, then of course we got Britt Baker and Serena Deeb beating Athena and Storm. Jamie Hayter came out. She hit Tony Storm with the chair, but of course, she's still mad at Britt Baker for what happened at All Out, which I'm glad. I'm glad she didn't just come back and join her. She let her know, hey bitch, I see you. I see you. So,
right,
I was good with that. But bro, for Rampage next week, for Rampage this week, we got Joe versus Woods for the ROH TV Championship. We got Penelope Ford against Willow. We got Darby Allin against Matt Hardy. Of course, we got Danhausen versus Ethan Page also. Then, of course, we got Moxley versus the winner of this match, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. We got the Acclaim going against Swerve and Lee for the Tag Team Championships. We got Serena Deeb, Athena, Britt Baker, and Toni Storm, and another fatal 4-way for that women's AEW World Championship. And then, of
yeah,
course, we got Pac versus Orange Cassidy for the Mid-Atlantic Championship, and then we got Hook and Action Bronson versus 2.0, and then bro, not so far, not a bad show. It looked like it's gonna be a good 2 hours. With all that being said, man, before we get to this match where it looked like Bryan Danielson might have hurt himself, what do you think?
I was listening to Booker T's podcast earlier today, and he said something that kind of I didn't really pay no attention, but he's like, man, it seemed like every single week with AEW, we got some type of tournament to crown a new champion or some type of like multi-thousand person match to figure out who a new champ gonna be for some type of title. And it's funny because when it was announced today, that the women were gonna be in another fatal 4-way. I'm like, damn. But at the same time, it's like I'm kind of like, damn. But then I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? You can't have your cake and eat it too, because we say we want to see more women. We want to see the women get more time. Okay, cool. Well, now you're giving us 4 women at one time. So especially if this is gonna be the only women's match on the card, you got 4 faces out there. It's like, okay, cool. So I'm not gonna nitpick it. And then it's for very credible competitors. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna do what they do. But
yeah. I would agree with some of that, but I want you to finish though.
Yeah. But no, I guess my whole thing is I'm just curious on, how they're going to book Toni Storm moving forward, what you're going to do with Britt Baker moving forward. I hope Athena doesn't, fall through the cracks, after this whole, rivalry / title chase. So, there's a lot of moving parts. Like, I like the match, but I don't want to see Toni get screwed, and I don't want to see Athena get forgotten about. Like, I don't want to see her getting Ruby Soho to AEW.
No, but them getting you got 2 more people getting a title opportunity, and you have Britt Baker in it, which gives it star power, and then of course Toni Storm. I would disagree with Booker T's point on the women. But I get your point on it when you hear the women are doing another fatal 4-way, but I'm fine with the women. But if it's the men's tournament, I'm with you. Like, I agree with that. But I also understand the circumstance of what just happened. He just suspended his champions, and after he just crowned champions, he just had to suspend them. Yeah. And guess what? Damn it! Now I got to redo what I just spent months doing, and now I got to put this back. And then so he quickly, made a trios champion, and he's going to crown the new AEW champion for Grand Slam, which all right, that's fine, because right now we've caught up. We're caught up with the show as Bryan Danielson has been put into the Boston Crab version of the Walls of Jericho. But it does kind of suck in a way. And they had to do this tournament because of injury. I mean, CM Punk got injured, so they did a tournament for the interim. Now they just crowned the undisputed, and now they had to do another tournament because they just suspended Punk. But Punk is also hurt, so it's like, damn, all right, he's definitely gonna be out. We can't just let you hold the title and make another interim. That defeats the purpose of everything we just did. So we're just gonna crown a new champion, and it made sense to only make it the world champ, former world champions. Everybody who's won a championship was in this tournament, so which was cool. And honestly, you know what? If the finals is going to be what I think it is going to be, I'm not mad at it. That'd be a great finals match to watch, right. Regardless of who actually wins. But again, I don't think you can go wrong with the 2 people I'm thinking of, especially when we know Mox is already in it. But bro, man, what are your thoughts?
I mean, look, another solid Dynamite.
I give it a solid Dynamite, for sure. It focused on the wrestling. This was definitely about the matches. The matches definitely there were good matches. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. On a humble.
If I must say, post AEW media scrum shambles and rumors and just debauchery. Tony Khan, man, hey, he flipped this shit on his head, because I think a lot of people, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man, the crowd, during last week's Dynamite with TK popped up on the screen, I'm like, damn, man, don't do my dog like that. But he put on a solid show last week, and this week he stayed quiet. Tony Khan wasn't on socials, wasn't talking crazy and nothing like that. Wasn't trying to respond to be one of the boys. Now Tony Khan sat back, he booked a hell of a show. And now, we got to on paper, it look like it's gonna be a pretty damn good rampage coming up. And then of course we got Arthur Ashe next week. And you already know, man, when it comes to one thing I can say about Tony Khan, when it comes to the Arthur Ashe events or any of his TV events, the pay-per-views, we expect the big blowouts at the pay-per-views. We expect something, grandiose with that, but he's done a great job like the Fighter Fest and the Road Ragers and now the Arthur Ashe events. I'm really looking forward to this card and what he's been able to produce throughout all the drama and circumstance surrounding it. Man, it's still looking pretty solid. It's still looking pretty strong. So, hey man, I got to put it out there. If we're gonna get on the bad parts, we definitely got to get on the good parts of Tony Khan. He's definitely rebounded very quickly and efficiently.
Mm-hmm. He has, and when you have people supportive like Jericho and Bryan Danielson and Moxley who are talking to the people in the backstage, you got the other veterans that are there, and they're telling people like, "Look, man, you're gonna have these type of things that's gonna happen, and when you have these type of things happen, you got to be able to bounce back. You got to be the next man to step up, and that's why I know a lot of people are ready to write AEW off, man, but I feel like, man, there are a lot of people who generally love this business for the passion of what it is. And yeah, I understand with Triple H being in charge, as we got Jericho who just tapped out to the crossface and Bryan Danielson versus Moxley next week. That's going to be a hell of a main event.
About to go.
Oh, that's about to be a hell of a main event. As we looking at the pure champions, Daniel Garcia repping that boy Bryan Danielson. But man,
they go over.
Oh, what if it's a swerve? What if there's a swerve? What if Garcia comes out and costs Bryan Danielson the match? And he loses, and then it ends up being Bryan Danielson versus Garcia for the pure wrestling championship. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. That might I don't know. This AEW, you never know. But we got Moxley coming out. Well, we got Moxley coming out now. But I want people to understand, man. AEW, it's gonna be fine, man. When it's got true people like Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and you got those that are going out there and showing you what it's really all about, man, you're gonna be all right, man. Tony needs to stay the course and not get caught up in the BS and stay the course. He's got the talent. He's got young talent. He's got up and coming talent, the Acclaim, a lot of other people that come in and started out as being nobodies, and now they become somebodies, and they have opportunities to become bigger. So, it just don't take time, man. As we got Moxley and Bryan Danielson standing in the ring right now. What did you think of the match, man? Jericho versus Danielson.
Hey, bro, first of all, hold on. Let me say this. I am no stranger to apologizing to the people, for the people, in front of the people. I must say, Chris Jericho, I thought you lost it. I didn't think you still had it in you. That was a hell of a main event we just saw with him.
Jericho handled himself, man.
That was a hell of a main event. Yo, shout out to my boy Y2J, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, the demo guy, late champion, all that, man. My boy, the Lion Tamer, Lionheart. Great fucking match, man. I'm not mad at it. That was a great match. I'm glad Danielson won.
Right. And he finally beat Chris Jericho. And I'm not mad about it. People want to see the belt on. If there's anybody people want to see as the AEW champion, people wanted to see Punk, but we didn't know Punk was gonna get hurt. I feel like if Punk wouldn't have got hurt, it'd be a bit of a different story. But he got hurt, and that's what kind of taints his reigns. But Bryan Danielson, we all, notice he keeps coming out the heel tunnel. It don't matter what tunnel he comes out. It just feel like, man, it don't matter to him. He's just coming out. And he's coming out to do some damage. And you can cheer him or you can boo him. He's coming out to whoop somebody's ass. I think
at this point he don't give a fuck. I think Bryan Danielson, he's a 5'2" player. I think he is what is needed to be in the moment. You need somebody to go out there and be a baby face. All right, well, he can go out there and go up against a motherfucker like an MJF or whoever, be a baby face. You need him to be a heel. He can go out there, against a John Silver and just start bullying John Silver, and now you a heel. So, I think, like you said, to him at this point, man, he's just going out there just like you said, he ready to kick some fucking heads off. And
Yeah.
anybody that comes out there and says they're willing to kick somebody else's fucking head off is a little insane in the brain, and it is what it is.
They got a little heel
I
in
don't
them.
know
They
if you
got a
can
little
really
bit
be
of heel in them. So of
afraid.
course, it only makes sense, man, when you got a little bit of a heel in you. So why not?
And
But
really quick
I've been
too.
noticing that a lot though when he's been coming out.
And really, and I thought about that too. And another thing I want to talk about really quick too is you said that he beat Chris Jericho, so he beat Chris Jericho finally, and then he was going to go up against Mox, and we're going to assume he's going to win that. So Chris Jericho, the first ever AEW champion, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mox was the first ever 2-time AEW champion. So what a way to put Danielson over by having him beat 2 of AEW's first evers, right? So I mean, the stars are aligned, and this is it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Hey, look, I ain't mad at it. Next week's gonna be a pretty good show. 2 hours. I think Tony's got a nice card. It's gonna definitely be entertaining. We're gonna get some I mean, dude, when you again, man, just think about what you're gonna see. Okay, you got the Acclaim versus Swerve and Our Glory for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
You got the women defending their women's AEW Interim Tag Team Championship. Not gonna lie, the TBS champion should be defending her championship on this show too, but I'll digress on that one. It is what it is. You got Pat going up against Orange Cassidy for the Mid Atlantic Championship, and then you got Moxley going up against Bryan Danielson for the AEW Championship. Man, as far as I'm concerned, man, Tony's put on. I mean, and then you got Hook and Action Bronson versus 2.0. So that'll be kind of like
I don't know why. I kind of want to see that match. Don't know why, but I do.
Because it's in New York. It's in New York. It's Action Bronson. It's New York. It's AEW. It's wrestling, and that's why. That's all that is. Let's just be honest. You say how Champ says, I hope Mox Giddens becomes the first 3-time AEW World Champion. Dude came back to work, canceled a 6-week world deserved vacation. I see he came back for the vacation, but who's to say that he's not going to go back on vacation? Which is why it would make sense for Bryan Danielson to pick up that victory. Moxley can go take his well-deserved vacation with his family and get some rest and come back. He might have held it off for this to build it up for next week, which I'm fine with. But that aside, even if he does happen to win it and takes a couple of weeks off and does some little promo stuff, either way it go, I feel like he's still going on his vacation. You can do some stuff without doing some stuff. Green screen and technology has far advanced in today's time. So that.
I mean, just look at me right now. I'm in Dynamite, and at the click of a button, I could be right there in my mansion.
Right, exactly, man. Home sweet home. So no, man. Cool show. Setting up next week. You got about 5 matches, 4 title match. You got 4 title matches. I think all these matches are gonna get well enough time. I think TNT or TBS, whatever, is gonna be like, hey, if you need the extra time, you got it. It's in Albany. We saw how the last show did.
Yeah.
When you had Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson for 30 minutes, we saw how that went. So obviously, we're gonna give you the time, but if you need it, put on a great show. Let's fucking go. MJF is gonna come out and say some shit. We know that, so we expect to see that. I expect to see a good show. 4-star worthy. I hope it's 4-star worthy at minimum. At minimum, if it's 3.5, I'll take it. But at minimum, man, it's got to be 4-star show. I think all these matches are gonna be good. Even the Fatal 4-Way women's, I think that's going to add something. Serena Deeb is going to add some trickery because now without having Jamie Hayter in there, you're going to see Britt really be in a Fatal 4-Way. Where with Jamie, you kind of knew she would help Britt, but you don't have that now. So it's like you truly got 4 hungry women that want to win this belt. So there's a method to Tony's madness. It don't make sense sometimes, but you gotta look at the long game and see where the long game goes. And whenever Thunder Rosa comes back, if, there's an opportunity to put the title on someone else, I don't like you right now. So there, that's a good thing. But yeah, no, man, I'm good with the show. I'm good with the matches. Like I say, Pack and Orange Cassidy, I want to see it. Man, I want to see it, man. It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show.
No, I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? We got Dynamite out the way. We got SmackDown coming up Friday. We got Rampage coming up Friday. Then next week we on the, you know what I'm saying, we in Arthur Ashe, baby. But yeah
Right.
though, good show. I'm happy. I'm ready. Wrestling is back at it. We went through a little lull, getting into All Out and getting to Clash at the Castle. Things kind of been a little stagnant, but now we didn't got past it and we good. Wrestling is back doing what wrestling do. Side note, that boy Solo Sikoa has brought gold to the bloodline as the new North American champion. So I'm curious to see what they do on Friday Night SmackDown with everybody dripping in gold in the Anoa'i family. Man, but other than that, bro,
That actually makes sense. You know why that makes sense in a way? Because right now you don't want him taking the title off of Walter because Walter's on a roll right now. After that match he just had with Shane, it's like if you're gonna do Imperium and Bloodline, you got to do that right.
yeah,
And right now, Bobby, I don't think you want to take the title off Bobby because you're not really on Raw like that. You're more,
right,
Sikoa seems to be more of a SmackDown guy anyway.
yeah,
So only way he's going to get that title if he's probably got the other one anyway. But right now, having him, which I didn't think he was going to beat Carmelo, but you know what? I think Carmelo's had it long enough.
yeah,
Carmelo's had it long enough. He
yeah. The
shot his shot.
A10,
Hey man, he been
yeah,
retiring jerseys left and right. That
yeah,
boy been putting jerseys in the
yeah.
rafters as the
NXT
North
going back to the
American
black
champion.
and gold. Thank
Right,
you,
right. He's been putting the jerseys in the rafters
yeah,
as the North American champion.
mm-hmm.
So now,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
it's time for him to shoot that shot and
yeah,
be the A champion with
yeah,
the A title on
yeah.
the brand and go after that NXT championship and start putting some more names in those rafters as the NXT champ. That's good for him. Even if I don't think it's ready for him to call up. Do not call him up right now. Let him continue to do his thing at NXT. Let him continue to build who he's building, what he's doing, and then let Sikoa, do what he do at NXT, but yet he could show up on SmackDown to represent the bloodline. Because eventually, I think now that he's got the belt, you're gonna have Roman come out, so you can get that picture of the bloodline with all the gold and Sammy in the back.
Draped up and dripped out.
Did you see the? Hey, speaking of Sammy, did you see the little response that he had to Rikishi's?
Rikishi, yeah,
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 you're like,
yeah. He's like,
in a
all my
way, you
men got
kind of got four. It's like, I'm like, hell
yeah,
no, that boy Sammy, wow, man. Hey, you know what that? Hey, you know what? Yeah, I can't wait to him and Kevin Owens go after them tag belts,
bro. Sami Zayn joining the bloodline is like, bro, that's what's best for business. Joe says, how close is franchise to pressing this first record after all those? uh, it'd be like my third or fourth, but we there, man. But we talking about wrestling right now. You know what I'm saying? We got people. We got the
Hey
FBI.
man, they gotta let them know, man. The franchise
You know
216.
what
You
I
gotta
mean?
let them know what it is. You gotta let them know what it is, man. Don't be humble, man. Stop being humble. Stop being humble. Man, stop being humble.
Nah, man. Nah.
Stop being humble.
Well, yes. Thank you, sir. But with that being said, man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generation.
You see how he trying to get off, champ? You see how he trying to get off? You see how he trying to get off, man? We know this is GLW, but still, baby, you gotta represent, man. You know what it is.
Speaking of representing, man, I want to say, man, hey, Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, y'all wrong. Hey, free my boy Ray J, man. I seen the paperwork. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
man, look, I don't even want to talk about that. I ain't even paying attention to it. It ain't no point. Ain't even no point. Ain't no point. All these years, all this time, why?
Hey, that's that love and hip hop money work running dry.
You took the nut and you ran with it. Well, why are you complaining now? All right, I don't know. I'm just talking shit. But no, man, we appreciate hanging out with y'all, man. We try to give you 30 minutes officially of a good show. We'll see y'all Friday. We'll say Friday, but turn on your notifications. You never know, man. We just be popping on, just want to talk shit, just talk shit with y'all, man. So, hey, we'll see y'all for the Friday night block party. Until then, if we see you early, we'll see you when we see you.
Peace.